Um, Usually we think of prime London real estate as just bulletproof right, like the gold standard.
Yeah, that's the historical rule of thumb, definitely.
You park your money in a townhouse in Kensington or Chelsea, and you just sit back and watch the value climb.
Right.
But in this deep dive, we're going to unpack how that rule got totally upended.
Completely upended, especially if we look at the data from late 2025, specifically their reporting from the National.
Exactly, because we aren't just seeing a cooling off here. We're looking at a genuine crash in the most prestigious postcodes, while the suburbs are actually thriving.
It really is a story of two cities.
Yeah. So we're going to get into why the safe bets lost double-digit value, how tax fears spook the market, and why this is a brutal reality check for anyone banking on their home to fund their retirement.
The experts are calling it a precision market because the numbers are so specifically localized.
Let's hit those numbers because they are honestly shocking. In just 1 year, property values in Kensington and Chelsea fell by 16.5%.
And to make that tangible loss, that is an average loss of £236,000 per property.
£250,000 just vaporized into thin air. Ouch.
Yeah. And the City of London took an even harder hit, down over 18%.
But here's the thing that really stood out to me in the data. This wasn't a universal London collapse.
No, not at all.
Because if you look further out at Bromley or Havering, prices actually went up by over 4%.
Which really highlights how localized the panic was. The outer boroughs were resilient, but the luxury tiers were just bleeding value.
Which brings us to the why. Everyone was whispering about Chancellor Rachel Reeves's budget leading up to last November.
Whispering puts it mildly. There was genuine fear among high net worth individuals.
And real quick, just to be completely clear, for you listening, we are totally impartial here. We are not taking sides on any political policies. We're just reporting what the National outlined as the market's reaction to the government.
Right, exactly. And the reaction was panic over a potential wealth tax or a steep exit tax.
Neither of which actually happened.
No, they didn't. But the speculation alone drove massive uncertainty.
Market uncertainty is a killer. And the Chancellor did introduce an annual levy on homes worth more than £2 million.
Precisely. And let's be real, in many parts of the UK, $2 million buys you a manor.
But in Kensington,
That's often just a nice terraced house.
right, or a semi-detached family home, you aren't necessarily hitting the ultra-rich jet setters with that threshold. You're hitting the upper middle class.
And that anxiety triggered a huge sell-off before the policies even kicked in.
Sellers were just scrambling for the exits. But usually when prices drop, this hard-savvy buyers swoop in.
And that is exactly what we saw starting in December. It was helped significantly by the Bank of England cutting interest rates to 3.75% to try and lift the market.
So rates are down. Prices are down. That sounds like leverage.
It is. Nick Leeming from Jackson Stops calls this the window buyers have been waiting for. For the first time in years, buyers have the choice and the power.
If you have the cash, you're laughing. But there is a flip side to this coin.
There always is. Sarah Coles from Hargreaves Lansdowne points out that this slump is devastating for downsizers.
Oh, right. Because if you spent 30 years banking on your Chelsea townhouse being your nest egg,
And it suddenly loses £200,000 right before you retire.
that changes your life plans completely. It dents consumer confidence massively.
Because that safe equity turns out to be quite volatile.
Now, there's one other piece of this puzzle that I found really contradictory. Buying prices are crashing at the top, but if you look at the rental market, it is a totally different story.
The rental paradox. While purchase prices fell, private rents across the UK actually shot up by 4.4%.
The average is now over £1,366 a month.
So owning is getting cheaper relative to the peak, but renting is getting significantly harder.
Because the supply is drying up, right?
Exactly. Those same tax fears causing homeowners to sell are causing landlords to exit the market entirely.
Fewer rentals available means higher prices, even as the property values for sellers drop.
It's a really unhealthy imbalance driven by policy anxiety and rate cuts. A classic correction.
So to recap, we have a market split in two. Sellers grappling with the new tax reality and buyers snapping up a discount while the window is open.
Spot on.
Which leaves us with a big question for you to consider. If prime property prices are plummeting while rents keep climbing, are we just seeing a temporary blip?
Or a much bigger structural shift.
Right, where the cost of living in London disconnects entirely from the cost of owning there. Something to mull over.
Damn.
Thanks for joining this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.